Hey guys, Sacdaddy here with a new castle review. In this video, I'm going to be doing a quick little overview on the castle. This is your kind of generic pious Renaissance castle. You've got the knights and angels, and although it is kind of a little stereotype, it's one of my favorite castles. It is a pretty well-balanced castle, although it does focus a little heavy on the offensive side, the offensive hand-to-hand. So, to start off, I'm going to look at my two favorite heroes for this castle. The first one is Sorsha. She is a knight who specializes in swordsmen and crusaders, and she starts with leadership and offense. Leadership is pretty common among the knights in the castle, and offense is a very strong skill considering we have many hand-to-hand combat units that will benefit greatly from the 30% expert. As well as the specialty is great when using your crusaders to really slice down the enemies. So, the other hero is going to be Adela. She starts with basic wisdom and diplomacy with a specialty in bless. So she's pretty strong as she can bless some early units, usually your marksmen, and use your diplomacy to kind of pick up some of the neutral monsters defending the mines and other treasures hidden around the map. So, to look into the castle, the specialties in the castle, you've got Brotherhood of the Sword, which increases troop morale during siege. It's usually not that great as your heroes most likely are going to have leadership in this castle. Your shipyard can be very useful on maps that have a lot of water and an island map. You can just have a ship right there in your castle. And the Holy Grail, its specialty is increases morale of all allied heroes by +2. Generally kind of lackluster like the other things, as most heroes are already going to have that leadership stat. So their bonuses aren't great, but they're not the worst in the world. Your Mages Guild can really only go up to Mages Guild 4, so that's kind of a drag, but you kind of make up for it with the strength of the troops. And to look at them, you've got Halberdiers, which are probably the strongest level 1 troop outside of pixies, or sprites, just because the sprites have the no retaliation as well as a ridiculously high attack skill. You've got marksmen, which are pretty basic stat-wise, but they do shoot twice and they are level 2, so you can amass quite a few of them pretty quickly, so that's nice. Royal Griffins can have unlimited retaliations as well as a pretty high speed and pretty decent health for a level 3. These guys you're really going to want to kind of bring in for one of the first units into sieging a castle, as they do have that unlimited retaliation. Your Crusaders are your offensive powerhouses. They can strike twice, but they do have a relatively low health, so you're going to want to try and have them attack on troops that have already used their retaliation attack. So these guys can really just be that offensive powerhouse without really taking any damage. Zealots are a little lackluster. They're kind of basic all around, basic shooters. The only thing they have is no melee penalty bonus, but you really don't want them to be in melee ranges. They do have pretty low health. Your champions are pretty strong overall, and they do have a hidden bonus, and that's Joust. They do more damage the further you travel with them, which is kind of a nice little hidden stat there. Average speed, average damage, 100 health. Pretty strong troop overall, and you're going to be using them a lot to get some decent damage out. But what really stands out in this castle is the Archangels. Now, Archangels are probably the strongest 7th tier unit in the game. They have the highest speed of all 7th units. They have pretty high health and pretty amazing damage at 50. But really what makes these guys stand out is that they can cast Resurrect, and it's usually better than some heroes, most heroes actually, unless you have a really high power. What I like to do is I like to keep my Halberdiers in my castles and just kind of have them defending and have them stack over the weeks and defend here, as they do have a pretty decent defense stat for a level 1 troop. And I like to split my Archangels into 2 groups, that way I have 2 Resurrects to be cast, as Archangels can only cast their Resurrect spell once. So you usually want to do that at the end of a battle to kind of pick up some lost Griffins or Crusaders. So leave the Halberdiers in the castle and bring the Archangels into 2 groups. That'll really help you maximize what you can do with this castle. This is the Castle, one of my favorites. pretty fun to play. I'd probably rank it third if you're not counting Conflux. A lot of people really think the Necromancer Castle is one of the top ones just because of the ridiculous rates on Necromancy. But, you know, you have to agree with that to some extent, but I think that this castle and tower really stand equal chance up to them. The only one it's dwarfed by is Conflux, which is just because you have the ridiculous Firebirds. It's pretty crazy how they thought that was going to be balanced. But this is Castle, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, but most importantly, have a great day.